Welcome, friends. It's Ray. Thank you so much for joining me today. One of my goals right now is to use up or as many of my scraps as I can, and so this, while is not a unique technique, I'm definitely using scraps. I will link to my Scraps to Beauts playlist below so that you can check out that series if you're interested in more ways to use your scraps. I started out with a scrap piece of Canson XL watercolor paper, or actually two scraps, and bringing in my ink smoosher and some salvaged patina, and I mixed that with a little water on my mat. Next, I'm bringing in some uncharted mariner, adding water to that and smooshing that over each panel. Next, I'm drying my panel. I want to dry that in between my blues here. I want a little more salvaged patina, so I'm bringing that in and smooshing that around. And then I'm bringing my heat tool in to dry my panels again before I move to my next color. And I've placed some vintage photo on my mat and added some water and bringing in my smoosher and bringing that brown into or onto each of my panels. And then afterwards, I will dry my panels again. Reply in the comments to let me know how you do your ink smushing. Do you use a piece of cellophane or plastic wrap from, stamps and dies that you purchased? Do you use a piece of acetate? Do you just use your mat and take your paper to your mat? What technique do you use with your ink smushing? Here I'm bringing in my Hero Art sentiment strip stamps, and this is meant to stamp an entire sheet of sentiments and then cut the entire sheet with the matching die. But I am just going to bring in some post-it note paper and mask off everything except, or mask around, I should say, the sentiment that I want to use. So I'm going to mask around that sentiment so that I can stamp. And my first stamp there, you'll see, doesn't work because my piece of cardstock scrap moves, and so I can't stamp it again. And this is my Hero Arts Intense Black ink that I think needs re-inked because it doesn't stamp as dark on the very first try, but that's okay. I'm going to move my sentiment I'm going to move my scrap so that I can stamp this again, but I'm just going to bring in my Nocturne, Versaclear Nocturne ink, because I know that's going to stamp really well on the first try. So now I am going to trim this down to 2 3/4 by, I don't know, it's more than 5 wide, so but that's okay. I will cut it down once I get it affixed to my panel. So I'm going to pop this up on some and then I cut a little sliver, it looks like, off of the end of the panel. Just a sliver, and we'll bring in my glue pen and just add some scribbles throughout. I just want a hint of gold, and once that dries, it's kind of tacky, and it's going to pull my gold foil and leave some scribbles of gold throughout my panel. So that's what I want. So next I'm cutting out my sentiment with a sentiment die. And then I will cut out my leaf with the Hero Arts Autumn Leaves maple leaf. In my vintage photo just to add more brown distressed look around my leaf. I'm just going to glue the bottom portion of my leaf and affix that to the top portion of my focal panel. And next I'm going to affix my sentiment to the top of my panel. My panel over just to kind of mark where I've got 5 inches where they stop, so that I know where to put my foam tape, and then I'm going to add my foam tape. Making a 5x7 card, and so I am working directly on the card base to add like three to 4. I think I add 4 at the top and 3 at the bottom score lines just to give it added interest. I will link to the video where I make the ink smoosher that I got from a video that Natalie at NB Cards did, where she made this smoosher. So this thing is really popular. So I'll be sure to link to that so that you can check out that video if you're interested in how I made it. Bringing in my rubber eraser just to kind of remove, it's not really adhesive, but there were a few specks of something on my panel, and I was able to get those right off with my rubber eraser. And then I'm bringing in 3 of these Elizabeth Craft design gold glitter peel-offs just to accentuate my leaf and my focal panel. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you liked the video, and if not a subscriber, will subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Until next time, good day, friends.